So, what if I told you that there is one skill that you can learn as an Indian accountant in the next 15 minutes that helps you get an income of $200 to $250 per client per month from the US? You heard that right. And for this, you don't need a CPA license, you don't need a college graduation or any experience for that matter. Just stay with me for the next 15 minutes, learn this skill, and see how you can enter into the US market as an Indian accountant and work remotely from the comfort of your home. Well, I'm talking about tax filing, right? And for the purpose of this video, we're going to start with sales tax filing. I'm going to teach you how you can do advanced tax filing, income tax filing, and sales tax filing for the state of Massachusetts in US. For this video, let's start with sales tax filing in Massachusetts. Almost all business owners in Massachusetts have to do the state sales tax filing every month, and it's really cumbersome for business owners to do this, and this is where you can step in. Let's take a hypothetical example. Let me explain the sales tax structure in Massachusetts, the calculation, and how you can do the filing. I'll also show you, after you learn the skill, how you can reach out to a potential client immediately after learning the skill and start your work right away. So let's move ahead. Okay, so let's say our client is Sarah, right? And her business is a retail coffee shop. What is she selling? Coffee drinks, pastries, coffee beans, and brewing equipment. Her monthly sales are $30,000 per month, and she's been into business for a period of 2 years now. Now, let me tell you how the sales tax works in Massachusetts, all right? Let's say that a customer buys a latte for $5 at Sarah's Cafe. Massachusetts as a state is charging 6.25% sales tax on prepared food, all right? Customer is paying $5. The sales tax is 6.25% of the product. So that amounts to $0.31, which is 31 cents. So the total amount that the customer would be paying is $5.31, right? Sarah, as a business owner, will keep $5 and she owns 31 cents to the state of Massachusetts, which is the state's money in the form of sales tax, all right? For her, she must report it every single month that yes, she's collected this much amount of sales tax and she needs to report it in a form which is called as ST9 in Massachusetts. ST stands for sales tax. Now, the benefit about Massachusetts is that there is only one simple tax rate across the state. So you see, it's 6.25%, that is it. They do not have any city specific rates or any county specific rates or even districts. If you compare it to other states in the US, California, for example, has 7.25 to 10.75, which is different for across cities in California. New York also, if you see, it has 4 to 8.8%. It is also different for every county. Massachusetts as a state has a flat 6.25% sales tax rate, and therefore it's easy to get started with if you're looking to enter into the US market. Now, let me tell you what are the kind of things that are taxable in Massachusetts and what are not. So, if you look at prepared food and beverages, right? Restaurant meals, coffee, drinks, all of this is taxable. Physical products also, furniture, equipment, appliance, all of these are taxable. Services also, just a few services, not all. Telecommunications, for example, alcohol, all of these are taxable for sales tax purposes. But if we look at the exempt categories, groceries, for example, unprepared food, right? So fresh produce, meat, fish, bread, milk, even whole coffee beans, that is exempt. This is going to help us later in the example when we do sales tax filing for Sarah's coffee shop. That's why you need to know this. Even clothing, for example, under $175, it is exempt. This also applies for New York as a state. There is a limit for clothing in New York below which there is no sales tax. All right. Prescription medicine, newspapers, all of these are again exempt from sales tax. Now, let me tell you about the filing. Okay. Monthly filing in Massachusetts is the most common. There is a reason for that because if businesses are collecting 1201, which is $1,201 or more in sales tax per year. Now, that's a very small amount, and most businesses end up paying that much annually. And if you fall into this category, if your client falls into this category, they have to file sales tax every single month. Yes. This also means that business owners will have to spend more time doing this. You, as a local resource, can tap into this opportunity, and it's a recurring work for you as an Indian accountant. Let's look at the due date. So if let's say sales are happening in January, it is due next month on the 30th. Now, because February has only 28 or 29 days, you have to file by 2nd of March. For every other month, the due date is the next month's 30th. All right. And typical businesses that you will see falling into this category are restaurants, retail stores, e-commerce businesses, basically anybody who has steady sales, because it's 1200 for annual limit, right? Then quarterly filers are those businesses who are collecting 101 to 1200 in sales tax per year. So you will see that they have to file 4 times in a year. Again, they are due 30th after the quarter ends. So for January, February, March quarter, they are due in April 30th. Same manner for the second, third, and fourth quarter. Now, this is a very rare category where businesses are just collecting less than $100 in sales tax per year. If it is such a small business, they need to file the sales tax return every single year. All right. And they only need to do it once per year. You can see that the due date again is 30th of the month, but after the year ends. All right. Example is 2026 sales will be due on 30th of January 2027. Let's look at the penalty also. So there is a late filing penalty, which is 1% per month. Now the sales are pretty heavy for most businesses, and you'll see 1% per month also is a lot of money that could actually translate into the potential fees that you would be earning. Maximum can go up to 25%, and late payment penalty is also there. So that is 0.5% per month. Again, that can go to maximum 25%, and interest also accrues on a daily basis. So I'll explain by an example. Sarah, let's say she owes 1375 in tax and she's filing 2 months late. So the late filing is 1375 into 1% per month, which is the late filing penalty, and for 2 months. So that is $27. She's also paying late. So that is 0.5% per month into 2 months. That's $13. Interest will be accruing daily. So that's another $5. So basically, she'll have to bear a penalty of $46 to $50 ultimately, right? You as an Indian accountant can step in here, save the businesses from having all of these penalties. Many businesses are facing this right now as we speak, and this is a very simple skill that you can use to help them out with it. Now that you've understood how the sales tax filing system in Massachusetts work, what is the timeline, what the penalty is, let me show you the form that is there that you need to fill on behalf of your client. Now I'm just going to go to Google and type Massachusetts sales tax filing, and I'm going to hit go. Now you will land to a website which says mass.gov. This is basically short for Massachusetts.government files, and you can see sales and use tax for businesses. You just click on this link and you will find sales and use tax for businesses. All right. This is a very easy website for navigation as well. You can directly search for the form. It is ST9. All right. If you do the search, you will automatically land to the form. So here in the website, you will see that there is a guide on how sales and use tax can be done. You can refer to this as well. But ideally, if you want to do e-filing, you log into masstax.connect, and there are some other links that you will also see. So if you scroll down to this website, you will see there are some additional resources, and here you will find sales and use tax forms. So if you click on this, you will land to the PDFs of all the sales tax form. These are for different categories also: sales and use, marketplace facilitator, telecommunications, so on and so forth. We are aiming to fill out form ST9. So this is the one, and they've also gone ahead and given instructions on how to fill out the sales tax form. So you can see that you have to fill out the gross sales in line number 1, then sales for resale. Let me just compare it with the original form so that you get an idea of what I'm talking about also, right? Now, I just downloaded the ST9 form, and this is how it looks like. It's pretty simple. You can also see you can file this return at mass.gov at Mass Tax Connect. Now, because this is a PDF, I have uploaded this in a tool so that I can fill this up. So you can see gross sales. How do I need to fill it? The instructions are given right here. The sum of all sales, leases, and rentals of tangible personal property. So here, when we are talking about Sarah, let's say that her gross sales have been 30,000 US dollars. All right. Moving on, the sales for resale and exempt sales also. So here you have to enter the amount which is included in line 1 that represent the resales as well. And we don't have to include lines 3 and 4. Lines 3 and 4 is exempt sales. All right. So let's say that entirely these are the entries. I've just written it down in the PPT for your reference. So let's say that the gross sales are 25,000. Okay. The sales for resale are 3,000. Exemption of sales tool is 0. Machinery is also 0 because we're talking about a cafe right here. Now, what about non-taxable sales? If you remember, I told you that any food which is unprepared, especially in the state of Massachusetts, it is exempt. So therefore, there is a sale of coffee bean that we are considering, which we are taking to be non-taxable for the perspective of sales tax. And therefore, from our gross sales of 25,000, we have subtracted this 3,000, and this is 5 minus 1, and therefore we have the figure of 22,000 here. So what is the total sales tax? Now we know the state of Massachusetts has a flat sales tax of 6.25%. So we multiply this, and then 22,000 into 6.25% is 1375. All right. Now, use tax purchases that are nil for our business. So again, this is nil. So total sales tax that we owe to the state of Massachusetts is 1375. Now you see, I also told you for the state of Massachusetts, if a business has more than 1201 sales tax that it owes annually, it needs to do a monthly filing. And our monthly sales tax is $1,375. And therefore, Sarah as a business owner will have to do a monthly filing. All right. And finally, we arrived to the total amount. There was no credit. We have not considered any credit. And therefore, the total amount of tax that is owed to the business is 1375. These exact entries you can go ahead and fill out in this PDF, right? It's the same entries that I just put out in the PPT. You can see gross sales, resale, exemption, non-taxable sales. Here is where our coffee bean entry will come in. The total sales tax, there is no use tax purchase. Penalties, interest is nil because we are filing on time, and the total amount due is 1375. Another thing that I want you to know apart from this calculation is that you need to put out the business name, the address of the business, whichever city, town, state they are in. And if you see, signature is present, right? Now, here in the signature section, you will not be signing. The business owner will be signing. You just need to fill out this, check out their monthly sales, check the fact whether they have any exempt sales, and do the calculation for them. Once you do this, they will verify it and the business owner will sign it. Once this is done, you can go ahead and file this online at mass.gov, Mass Tax Connect. So it's very easy, the navigation. Let me just go back. You can see mass.gov/tax connect. Yeah. So this is the website. You can see Mass Tax Connect. This is all taxes for Massachusetts, by the way, for individuals, for businesses, and you can create a login ID and password, fill out the details, and file the tax and make the payment from here. So that's how you can go ahead and fill out sales tax returns for any clients in the US. It's a very simple process. The tax rates are also flat in Massachusetts. It's a monthly requirement and it's an easy process. You're not doing tax advisory work, or you're not doing tax advisory work, you are just into compliance. This does not require a CPA license. This does not require you to be a CACS. Anybody can do this, and it's a great opportunity to get started with. Let me also show you now that how you can find such a business. Now that you know how to fill this form out, let me show you how to find a business that you can reach out to immediately. So for this, I'm going to be using a tool called apollo.io. You can simply log into Apollo like you would log into Google. It's a simple tool. And in the search bar navigation, we'll go to companies. All right. Once I click on companies, I will get the filters on the left-hand side of my screen. Now, through Apollo, I can find any sort of business, right? Whether it's a restaurant, e-commerce owner, or any other business that you're looking to specifically work with. Okay. Now, in the filter, you will see the first thing that I'm going to do is go to industry and keyword, and I'm going to target restaurants because we just understood how the sales tax filing in restaurants will work. I will then go ahead and filter it by location. Now we're going to tap into restaurants which are there in Massachusetts, US. All right. And you see now we have all the list. Now this is a list of, yeah, 6,781 businesses that are there specifically, which are restaurants in Massachusetts. Now you will see that you will find some bigger businesses here as well. Dunkin' Donuts, for example, you see 37,000 employees. Now they probably have somebody who is doing all the work for them, and that's not our target client. What you need to do is you can also filter the search by number of employees working in that business. Ideally, we want to look at 1 to 10 in the category because these are smaller businesses. They need help from people and they need people who can do this at a very cost effective way for them. Now, once I did the search, you see we have almost 3,350 businesses, and these are our target clients. Now, all of these businesses, they are restaurants, they still need to file sales tax. So you can just go ahead, see the number of employees, 576. Now, if you look at this column, it has the links to their website, it has the links to the LinkedIn, the Facebook, and Twitter. Okay, so I clicked on Holyoke Hummus Company, and it's a food and beverages company. It's award-winning food truck and catering company. So of course they need to file their sales tax. We have their LinkedIn and we have their website. Let's check out the LinkedIn of the company. Perfect. What we can do is we can find the people from here and we can find the founder as well. If you just search founder, okay, let's see, owner. Okay, so if I clicked on owner, you can see this is John Grossman. He is the owner and chief falafelier at the whole UK hummus company. Two things that can happen. One, you can of course reach out to the company directly on their LinkedIn. Corporate profiles on LinkedIn are always open for messaging, so you can write a message there. Or you could reach out to the founder directly, and mostly you'll find that their profiles are in LinkedIn Premium, and message would not be open. So you just click on the more section and send a connection request, add a note, and here is where you can type the note. So now that you have the owner's profile, you can just write this message and you can simply write, "Hi, I help Massachusetts food businesses with their monthly sales tax filing. Would you have 15 minutes for a quick Zoom call? I'd love to show you how I can take this off your plate when is a good time." And you can just send this message right here. It completely fits into the LinkedIn character limit also. And that's how you can pitch this exact services to business also. It's a great entry point for Indian accountants and bookkeepers. Tax filing season is nearing, and in fact, specifically sales tax filing in Massachusetts for larger businesses happen every single month. That is $200 to $250 per client per month that you could be looking at. If you just do sales tax for 10 clients in the US every single month, that translates into 2,000 US dollars per month that you could be earning remotely from India. Well, this is just the starter pack. You can also do advanced tax, income tax, federal tax return, and so much more as a remote Indian accountant and bookkeeper. Well, let me know how you found this. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments and I would answer them. I hope this helps you in your journey to start off as an Indian accountant who's looking to tap into global businesses. I'm Nidhi signing off, but I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.